again to the special episode of the podcast where we talk bursaries. We talk Mayoral Bursary, and we've been talking bursaries from last week. So many students have questions about how to apply successfully, and today we are joined by Serogane Tsotetsi.
Serogane.
Wow. At least nka for professional teacher. I can pronounce some So you the focus of today how the Bursary application criteria and the processes. Firstly, before we get on a pele, ke kopa ho tseba ka mme Serogane Tsotetsi le your position in the Bursary committee.
Okay. Ke Serogane Tsotetsi, ke moradi wa Hasekgalo. Ke part of the Bursary Emfuleni Mayoral Bursary Committee. I represent people living with disability within the group. The Mayoral Bursary Committee is a composition of our MMCs as well as independent individuals by Lomore. They don't form part of government at any sphere of government. So yes, I am part of those people who do not form part of the government, but who are independent, representing the community.
What is the Mayoral Bursary program is?
The Mayoral Bursary program is a program initiated ke masipala, so that they can be able to assist our young people, most especially those who are indigent, who come from disadvantaged communities, who come from struggling families, who come from income households where the maximum wage or the maximum salary is 350 in a year. So the aim and the program in itself is to uplift the communities within which our municipality operates.
So, like question. When you ask question, one sense about after that one. So, when do application normally opens and close? Because in terms of the adverts, the adverts of the Bursary, the information when do I apply?
Who bulaka 1st of October, we open for a period of 2 months, and then we close on the last day of November every year without fail. And we disseminate information. I think for some reason, some people, they tend to overlook it. When something has got to do with the municipality and everything, people do not think positively about it. But normally what we do is we put it in the community newspapers, we put it out there, we go to interviews on radios to say this is what Emfuleni has. We go to churches, we go to events where people would say, can you please come and present the Mayoral Bursary? We share the links on social media, that we do. We, even ourselves in the committee, we would post it on our WhatsApp, send it to people, just so that the information is disseminated. But the only thing, I think, it's because of most people didn't know about it. So they normally don't even think to say, let me check if Emfuleni has this kind of thing that maybe I can apply. But over the past 2 years, it has become much more known than when we first started.
So the formats are if I do want to apply right now.
The formats are you can get copies that wanna go the libraries. Every library in Emfuleni, Osmatha ensures or the minute we open, the application forms are delivered. She even delivers them herself to the local libraries so that it becomes easier.
So if when one can apply online, maybe I'm not around in case to the nearest library, so and I wanna apply. So apply online.
We haven't come to that as yet, but you can download the form online. You can download the form online, and then we drop it go maspaleng. Fanda Bailey straight. But we haven't come to a point where we take on online. Yes. But I think that's a good idea. You've come up with something. We need to look at it. And yeah.
The online applications.
We will look into it.
So, apply. Some get rejected through the mistakes the applications and stuff. So, ikaba the mistakes it's when the applicants when they apply.
The most common one, I would start by saying the most common one, proof of address. It is very important. You must remember the proof of address for us. We need to know your rates and taxes are up to date. That is not our job. Ours is to say this is a proof of address that you have. So in most cases, we find problems with the proof of address.
Okay.
Yes. I would advise that when you don't have a letter at the rates and taxes, at least go to your counselor and get that proof of address from your counselor. It assists a lot. The second one that we have is to say you have a parent who has passed on, but there is no death certificate in the application form. Then it means the form is incomplete. And then the other one is to say that father, you don't have a father, but then there is no affidavit from your mother to say your father is not there or whatever the reason might be. So those are the little mistakes that we find. They are very important. Now we have to let go because this thing if Anna understand the form itself or akabe adikent.
So Serogane now due to the requirements for apply. The academic results they are required in order for one to at least be granted the bursary.
An average of 60% on your matric results. An average of 60%, that's what you look at. Yes. And I have to tell you, we get much greater results than that 60%. But an average of 60% works for us. We work out that average based on your matric results. And then, yes, that's the first step that makes you to go through the process.
If ngwana no jo onzale matric so aga khona ho apply and then aba submit the final results after.
Yes. We remember they have the results are June. So sometimes in most cases they do have the September study trial. So what happens is what we get, we work on that, and then we wait for the final results. But you might find that with the results that we have, we might so normally when we do the shortlisting, we would look into those that we say, yeah, these results are perfect. And we would look into those that you say, let's see when we get the final result what's going to happen. And in most cases, we would find that those who did well during the year, most of them did not even make it at the end of the year. But those who did not, whom we were a little bit skeptical of, have made it. So we don't just, with the first shortlisting, we don't just say, we are done, this is what we are looking at. No. We put them into batches and you say, we will also look into that when the time comes.
So current university students are eligible to apply too?
Yes, they are eligible to apply too, as long as they remain or reside within the boundaries of Mfuleni municipality. Yes, they are.
So another question, the institution. Which institutions is your universities, colleges, and higher institutions? So all funda
I would say to you, we concentrate mainly on the institutions within the VAL first. We give first priority to that. So I'm looking at Northwest. I'm looking at VAL University of Technology. Okay. Northwest because it also has branches outside of Mfuleni. Okay. We consider that because it is also part of Mfuleni based on the branch that we have in Mfuleni. And then based on the kind of course you have taken, we would normally check if that course, do they have it, do they offer it at Northwest University, or do they offer it at VAL University of Technology? Then if not, we would consider institutions outside of of Val, but mainly we look at Gauteng institutions first before we can look into other provinces. And only
Public and private.
only public institutions. Public institutions. Our budget doesn't allow us to go to private. Then it means we would only be able to fund less than half of the amount of kids that we are funding.
So, sekutlwile gape le kgona lo cover the distance learning institutions
Like UNISA, yes.
And ke bua le Lehlohonolo le yena o bala distance. So, the students with disability le bona belo ba kgona ho apply to
Students with disabilities, our number one priority. They can apply.
So, le di financial need mohlomong ho tswa ka background ya motho ke tso di bapala go in your selection processes.
They play a huge role. Remember, we're looking at families where their household income is not more than 350,000. So it means we are looking at the most poorest of the people within the community in which we live. And so we cover those. We cover your, based on the institution you go into, we cover your accommodation, your books, your laptops, if needed. The institution will tell us what they need for you, and we provide for that. Transportation, where and if necessary.
So, also
And meals as well as
Living
gifts.
usual-
Yes.
So is the funding renewable every year?
It is renewable every year. We also fund with books as well. Yes, your laptops, your books and everything. And it is renewable every year. And we also, unlike other funders, we also pay for your registration. So we don't, when we offer you a bursary, we already offer you the registration fee with the bursary.
So approximately ke qeta ho apply the selection process in kana ka kae?
It doesn't take long. By it, and we do normally immediately after the matric results are out. We take about 2 or 3 days. We meet up, and we saw it was much easier this year. Though the kids, those who applied immediately when they got their results, they sent them. It was an easy process for us. And those that did not, we did call to say, we've got your application, please send us your results.
So le ba notify ka di channel tse feng, your SMS, WhatsApp, call, or you are
SMSs and calls, Osmatha does that.
La ba check le mlebe fela ga selemo fela hore they might be going through depression right now.
We take care of our kids. We call them. If they've got issues, we sit with them, we call them in, we sit with them, we discuss. Remember, our panel also includes social workers within our panel. So we do a lot, and because of the relationship, especially that Osmatha has, because she is the coordinator and she's the lead in our committee, she calls the universities to ask for results before they even give the results to us mid-year, meaning in June, July. We would sit down with those. Where we see there's a lack, we would call you in, discuss what is happening. If you need assistance, do you need to see a psychologist? What do you need? Where can we assist? And it has worked in our favor, because sometimes you'd find it's the pressure of studying, the pressures at home. You know, life has its own pressures, and you just needed somebody to talk to be on the right track. And it helps a lot. Yes, we do.
Everything was clear. What advice would you give to applicants to improve their chances, maybe?
Okay, before we get to that, there's one thing that we missed. We missed that we cover that that gap that is created. You know, when other funders, what they do is once you get your undergraduate, they do not fund you further, but we fund further studies after you've got your undergraduate. That is the gap that we also feel as the Mfuleni Bursary Committee. So the advice I can give is that there is funding from Mfuleni. We ensure that you go to school, you study. The advice I can give is do your best. Give it your all. And when you get those application forms, make sure they are correct. Do not hesitate to either go to the library where you got those forms, because normally when you get there, they will call us and say, sis, I know you are in the bursary committee. I've got a learner here. She's struggling to fill in the form. And then I would speak to them and assist telephonically. So do not say, I do not understand. If you can't, Osmatha's office is always open. Go to her. She'll assist you to fill in the form, to understand what you need.
So for unsuccessful applicants,
it's not how many times you fail. It's how many times you pick yourself up. Because sometimes you are unsuccessful because you did not do well in your results. Make sure that you work hard on those results. There's always failure in life, and failure is a learning step. It's a learning curve. It's where you learn that I've done this. For that not to happen again, I have to do this. So what I'm going to say is